Folks, welcome to TPN Finance here on thepulsenetwork.com. I am Tyler Pyburn, and we're joined by, as always, the CEO and president of the Pulse Network, Stephen Saber. Stephen, how's it going?
Good, thank you.
Good. So today we're talking a little Moneyball right now, huh?
Yeah.
Moneyball is the new movie with Jonah Hill and obviously Brad Pitt. It's about the Oakland Athletics. They decided not to pay as much for the big boppers, if you will. They decided to, let's go with homegrown talent and let's see some of the players that we can plug into other positions, analyzing a different set of skills. They never actually won a World Series, but they did in fact become a very competitive team during that decade.
When we found this article, it was fascinating to think about, and the parallels, because you hear about the Moneyball thing all the time, and you sort of, people talk about it, but they don't really explain what the interesting part of it was, and then drawing that connection back to businesses, drawing that connection back to sort of how you can make your business more successful, I thought it was great.
Analytics can provide you with a competitive edge.
Well, it's all about the numbers. And what happens is so often people, they get caught up in what they feel about their business or what they think about their business, and they don't spend the time looking deep into the numbers and not just looking at it straight on, but then looking at it from the left, look at it from the right, look at it from underneath, and really start to take a different tact and look at it. And as you start to do that, as you start to dig deeper and tear deeper into the numbers, what you see is that you'll uncover nuggets that will tell you a lot about your business, and that's what happened here.
But what Oakland did, they looked at the on-base percentage, kind of the smaller numbers. So put that into terms as far as business.
So, you would think that, you're typically looking at sales, and you're looking at revenue, and you're looking at, profitability. Those are what we're always taught. Those are the easy numbers. So as you looked at your business and you thought only about that, it may tell you one story. But as you start to looking at your sales funnel, looking at different steps in your sales funnel, looking at conversion rates, not just from lead to closure, but from lead to qualified lead to proposal to closure. And then breaking that, let's just talk sales for a minute, breaking that sales funnel into separate pieces. You look at a guy and you say, I'm not interested in him because he's not hitting a lot of home runs. But you know what? He's hitting a lot of base hits. He's getting a lot of walks. He's getting on base, and he's scoring a lot for us. And in actuality, he's a much better team player. His past performance does not predict future success. And if you think about it, it's such a great line, because so often you look at someone's resume. What does it tell you? Their past performance. You look at someone's history. It's their past performance. Look at the issue with Yahoo, and they sort of said, you looked at her. That's a perfect, actually, parallel here. So look at the CEO of Yahoo and look at the article. We talked about this a couple of weeks back, where they looked at her numbers straight on and said, wow, she built a great business. She built a solid business. She grew revenue. She grew the business. She should be able to do it for us. This is going to be a great hit. What they didn't do was look at the numbers from different angles. They didn't look at the type of business she was growing, at the characteristics of the business, the characteristics of the team. And what they found was she lacked the skill set to do certain things that were key for what they were looking for. Well, finding those numbers is one thing, but understanding the characteristics is something different. So go back to baseball, right? Is your team the type of team that's going to go for a lot of on-base percentage? Is your team the type of team that's looking for sort of, they called it the small ball, right? If I remember right.
Absolutely.
That's what it was all about, right? So, are you looking for a lot of small ball players? If you are, then you're looking for certain characteristics. So so the key is, don't think yet about what you're trying to hire. Think about sort of what the characteristics of what you're trying to create. Build that model first and then find people to fit in. At the end of the day, they may acknowledge, look, if we win a World Series, that's great. If our company goes public and it's worth $1 billion, that's fantastic. But that's not the goal here, because that may be unachievable for me, and I'm okay with what I've got. So first point, don't know what their true, no one will ever tell us what their true goal was for those 5 years, right? And second of all, did they then rethink what their business is all about? Did they, was their goal just, I've got a dying franchise that I need to turn around. Here's an interesting way to play it. Let's see if we can make it sustainable and keep it alive. And that's what their goal was, in which case they won. They did that. And then they married and they held on, and now they may not be winning again. But understand, what are you trying to accomplish? How are you trying to accomplish it? Look at it differently. Carry your characteristics. Figure out what they are. Dig at it from a whole lot of different levels. When you think you figured it out, step back. Assume you didn't, try it all over again, and try and figure out why you're flawed. And that will help you to figure out, what am I trying to build? How am I trying to build it? I thought it was a great parallel, and it gives us a lot of things to think about.
Absolutely.